So in this video, we're going to go over how to propagate your clones. At the start of getting your first perfect batch of clones, you're going to need to make more copies, or along the process. Maybe you've got a good clone, but you need more copies of it so you can use it in experiments or to, create new genetic mixes. With the hemp and the berries, they're all the same. It's a little silly, but you just plant them, and the reason this is a little silly is because it's super fast. They go from seed to seedling really quickly. Seed is a very short phase. Then they go to sapling, and at the sapling phase, if you hold right click and press E, you'll harvest them as clones. So it only takes 10 minutes or so, maybe 15 depending on your genetics. But it's really easy and really straightforward and very quick. And because this particular plant has 2 Ys, we're going to get 3 clones when we harvest it. So we're going to triple our output in about 10 minutes. Your food plants, on the other hand, are a different beast. Even with the 4 Gs, this process is going to take closer to an hour because your food crops after sapling go through crossbreed, which is a very quick phase. Then they go through mature, which is a long phase. And at the end of mature, they start fruiting. And at the start of fruiting phase, which is you can finally take clones of your food plants. So this process, instead of taking 10 minutes, takes closer to an hour. So I'm going to show you 2 techniques to speed this process up. And it's also dependent on how many clones you start with. So if you start with 2 clones, you want to plant them in the centers, not the corners, diagonally adjacent. If you have 3, you're going to do sort of the same thing, but with 1 more. And 4, you make a diamond. Now, the reason this technique works to speed up the process is that while it takes close to an hour to reach the fruiting stage, it only takes about 15 minutes to reach the crossbreed stage, which is where our sped up process takes place. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the server's little hacks to speed this up. So we hit that and it grows. We hit this, it grows again. So as you notice, boom, 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 these have already done their thing 2 stages later. Like I said, that takes about 10 minutes in real time. These are still at sapling. They got a little more to grow. All right, they've hit crossbreed. Start a crossbreed, you can now plant, because at the start of crossbreed, that's when the genetic magic happens. Since they've already started it, we've got no worries. Now, this is a good seed. It's got 3 Gs, but that seems a little unlikely as normal. Oh my god, I've got some sort of magic going on with my seeds, don't I? Oh, that's right. I do, because I made this for the experiment. Sorry, guys. Let's try this again. Random seed. There we go. 2 Gs is pretty good. 2 Gs is pretty good. 1 G. So, you see how these are pretty random and not generally the best? But if you plant 1 seed, it will crossbreed with these 2 and become a copy. If you plant, notice they're not adjacent, so they can't crossbreed with each other, only these perfect plants. So now this one, you're increasing it by 1/3, but this one you're doubling your clone output by exploiting the crossbreed phase. And this one, let's use the other technique. So in your box of clones, you're going to have leftovers when you get your perfect clone. So I dug this one out of the box. It's got 3 Gs. It's not very good, but you can use these because they've got 3 Gs. They're going to grow faster. They'll get to the crossbreed phase sooner. So if you've got spare clones with 2 or 3 or 4 Gs, go ahead and put them to work here and speed up the process. So this is the technique for getting your food crops to propagate their clones a lot faster than you would get if you just had to sit there and wait for the original clones to grow. That's how you speed things up.